Welcome back to the garden. So here I have my green beans, and these were planted by the students from seed. And what's really cool is we are starting to get some green beans. We have little flowers, and then we have little green beans. And further down here, we actually have a few sizable green beans. So take a look at this. So really good right off the vine. And underneath here is a trellis just like this right here. And I put it together using 4 posts and a zip tie. That's it. So no excuses that it's too hard. And I thought I would show you right here next to it is actually a broccoli plant. And again, this is also from seed. And I know a lot of discussions, I know a lot of gardening tips say watch your spacing, things like that. But if you take a look right here, this broccoli is right next to all these bean plants. And these bean plants, I can't even tell you how many plants are in here. It's a student garden. I hand the seeds to the students and they have at it. I want them to explore. I don't want them to be limited by the back of a seed packet and then feel like they can't garden or they have all these rules. That's what the classroom's for. Out here, they get to let loose and explore. I want them to touch, smell, taste, everything. Let me show you what else is growing. This is the last class before winter break and the students have not gotten in here yet. I beat them to it so I can show you everything that's growing before they start munching. First off, I did check irrigation because we won't be here, but you can see we have these little baby seedlings. Now, if you're a gardener, you'll know that these are pumpkin seedlings. While it's not typically time to grow pumpkin seedlings, here in Southern California, our temperatures are so mild, they actually might make it. So a teacher had harvested all their pumpkin seeds and asked if they could plant them, and I said, sure, why not? Let's see what happens. So that's what all of this is. We're gonna leave them in here and go on winter break, and let's see. Our temperatures don't typically drop below 50 during the day, and at night, rarely under 40, so even in our coolest times. And I have a feeling they might just be fine throughout our winter season as long as we don't get too much rain, which isn't typically a problem either. We might get pumpkins really early on as long as so one of the issues we have here is powdery mildew, and that would probably get us before temperature would. No. Okay, next plant. So right here we have a broccoli plant. You can see it's growing nicely. And here's another broccoli plant, and it's actually over a year old, and you won't see one giant head because it's actually been cut already, but you will see if you leave the plant alone, you'll still get a lot of little florets, plenty to eat. I'm glad I got to show you because the kids are gonna come through here and eat them all. And then even here on this plant, you can see, I think this one's actually purple broccoli. It's got a purple tinge to it. And there too, some of the students are at recess, so you might hear it in the background. But here, again, it's a student garden, so we have a big mishmash of stuff. We have fennel growing through here. We have cucamelons still growing. And again, cucamelons don't like it cold, but right here, we still have a few. So I'm gonna leave those in there. The kids love looking for cucamelons, and we'll just hopefully have plenty. They are a perennial here, and if they aren't eaten and then they're planted, they'll just continue growing. Now over here, we've been doing this garden for probably close on 2 years and never planted kale because it is nonstop. And then look, it even seeded and is in the ground. This is what we deal with. Not even purposely watered and totally fine. And here, you can see lots and lots of kale. I might give it a cut back, and so it just grows a little bit cleaner. Over here, this bed was left alone. Some kids seeded in here. This is all fennel, and we will have another fennel forest. Here's our artichoke. That's going to be our subject today. But this back here, you can see we have plenty and plenty of fennel. We don't need more fennel. We have 2 giant beds of fennel, and I'm about 5'3", 5'4", and you can see it's bigger than me. And in order to have more planting space for other things, I will be cutting that down just so it doesn't continue to seed, and if it seeds and drops into the soil, we're just gonna keep going fennel forest season after season. The kids do love it, so they'll come in here and munch it. I will send some of this home with them because we don't want it to waste. Now over here, these are green onion tops that have been munched over and over by the kids. They just love to eat it raw. You can see how thick they get down below. And there's more broccoli plant over here, and there's cucamelons all tied up in it. But you can see there's baby cucamelons, then there's the broccoli, and then this one actually I believe is bronze fennel. So this one's a little different. This is fun. Should show it to the kids. They would love that. We still have some winter tomatoes. We've definitely seen better days. But right here there's a big one. There's a little one right there. So the challenge with an off-site garden that's not your own house is irrigation. And I noticed that the soil looked a little bit dry. Of course, I go to the irrigation box and someone probably a groundskeeper, didn't realize that box came to our garden, and we need that on year round, especially even if it rains, because it's on drip. We don't run it a ton, and we don't get that much rain. So the rain that we get is very superficial. It doesn't go deep, and these plants need a little bit of deep watering. So we plan the irrigation in a way that you don't have to touch it unless we get, I don't know, like a whole entire week of atmospheric river kind of rain. We don't need to touch that dial. These are collard trees. I think I showed them to you in another video. This is also another one. So they can eat all of this. And I'm tempted to actually leave the tomatoes because there's so many little tomatoes underneath, like here too. So in January, when we're back on campus, we might have some. Like right here. There isn't anything to plant in here right now anyway. So I'm gonna leave the tomatoes because the kids can come back and have something to munch on in January, and we can take them out at that point. But here in Southern California, even at my house, I actually just cut them at the base and they come back because we, again, don't get that cold. Now here you can see, this is what broccoli flowers look like, and the kids love to eat these. You can't buy them at the store, so it's always a little bit fun. They always love, oh, we get to eat flowers. So they'll pick each one, and I try to tell them, pick one, not many, just so everyone gets a taste. One other thing to show you, this is a potato plant, and potatoes grow underneath the ground. And if you go deep enough, oh, there's one right there. Teeny tiny little baby potato. I always ask the kids to not pick them because you can't eat potatoes raw. We do have to cook them. I don't know how long the irrigation was off for, so we're gonna go back here and run it really quick. So here's our little irrigation box. And so we turn this to manual 1. Oops, I wanna run station 3. I don't know if you can even see that. Probably not, but I want to run station 3 for about 10 more minutes and then switch it to run. And that's gonna run. We're slowly changing all the irrigation to something a bit better. Half of it is on this landscaping irrigation tube, which I'm not a fan of for raised beds. I prefer using these drippers, this 1/4-inch dripper. And there's just a better distribution of the water, and it drips a little bit better. Over here, tomatoes are still going. This is the after-school programs. This is celery Right here, they're skinnier. You can see inside, skinnier stalks. A passion fruit that has seen some better days. Looks like it's been eaten by something, but we have some passion fruit. Make sure you don't pick passion fruit when it's green. The best is letting it fall to the ground because that's when it's ready. It will release on its own. And then, let me show you. Oh, we have a couple more things on that side, but here, this is a loofah. So that's really cool. You can eat it like that, cooked, or you can wait till it's dry. And I'm walking back and forth today. I actually have a loofah from my house. I need to make you a loofah video, but this is a dry loofah. You can see on the inside, and I don't know if you can hear it. It's kind of crunchy. This one was just picked from my house, and you can see when you break off pieces. Let me know what you want to know about loofah in the comments because I plan on making an entire loofah video. But here you can see that's just the loofah, just like the sponge that you would use either in the shower or in the washing your dishes. Pretty cool. And then the seeds, see if some will come out. They're all up in here. So this would be a viable seed right here. Okay. And then this one did not finish, so no seed here. But there's a bunch of them in here, you can see. And then this one has like the little papery husk on the outside. But they're a decent sized seed, and you'll get a lot of them in here. The kids are gonna be here in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you one last thing. Again, I hand them the seeds, they seed everything. And here we have a yummy lettuce that has grown on its own. And here there's some more lettuce in the corner. So when the students come back in January, hopefully there's a good amount of salad for them to eat. The trouble with a school garden is you want to let the kids dig and get in there and touch the soil and learn and explore. We also have some grass. But if you do that, it really disturbs the plants. So they can't, especially if it's seedlings, these are grass, so we don't care. But, sorry, I can't help it, but pull these while I'm talking to you right here. So, you know, if we had one class plant and then the next class came and they wanted to plant, so they're planting sometimes on top of other plants, as best as you can. Obviously, we try to spread the kids out, like class 1 is here, next class is there, but kids are gonna wander. They're not gonna listen necessarily. They'll do their best, but we're teaching everyone from TK through 5th grade. So I have 2 classes come, an older class and a younger class together, so they're buddied up. So that we're looking at about 50 kids in this garden at a time for half an hour with me. So today we're gonna do what we talked about last time a little bit. We're going through the Brassica cousins, and then we are going to, I'm gonna show them the artichoke leaf and see if they can guess that one. And also I'm gonna show them the loofah, and they'll be able to eat whatever is growing in the garden. I do have to remind them, don't pick any green fruit because the green fruit in here are not ready, and then we won't have any to enjoy. Oh look, we had a cauliflower. We had a little cauliflower that tried but didn't work out. And same here, there's just some cauliflowers from before. There's some beans that were planted here, and then there's some more broccoli, brassicas coming out, and then obviously tons of fennel everywhere. The students are on the way, so I'm gonna prep a few things. If you learned something new, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.